Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked.
So they're going to be fully consumed under the curses. The so-called white people will be cursed, too cursed, that they won't be able to understand in our world.
It says,
because think about it, man. Whether both sides chose us, and we don't grow to justice because of our sins. How in the world are they going to just kangaroo jump and escape judgment?
exactly. And the scriptures also say of Yahawashi, it pleased the Most High to bruise him. That's his own son. How much more bastard? So it says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, the daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins.
Now let's read about the iniquity of what Esau did. Let's get at Ezekiel 25, verse 12. No, let the Rabbi read that.
Ezekiel 25 verse 12, Baba Bishop.
This does feel good though, isn't it?
Well, this is a fight. This is
the bitter.
We're battling now.
Right.
Come.
You need the bitter and the sweet. You need the sweet and the bitter.
I don't think that this place is as bad as the one before the hill. We was up on that hill that last time, man.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, man.
But you enjoyed it,
It's
brother.
cold.
I enjoyed it, man.
Up there.
It's cold up there, man. Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, it's cold up there, man.
But this is a nice cold.
Yeah,
Can't.
refreshing.
I don't know about that.
But remember this man has cold showers, so
Yeah.
you know.
Used to that.
It's always a benefit to going through something.
Although I say refreshing, that doesn't mean I'm enjoying it, you know?
That's what I'm learning. There's always a blessing to the after the bitter. There's always the sweet.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
It's true, brother. It's true. That's true.
Alright, this is Ezekiel 25 verse 12. Thus saith the Lord power, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended.
You know when that actually happened? That actually happened during the time of this was after when Jehoshaphat died, and his son came into the rulership. I think his son's name is Jehoram, if I pronounce his name correctly. It's in 2 Chronicles 21. So what happened was because Jehoram went off. Actually, let's go into it right now.
2 Chronicles 2:21.
Yeah, 2:21. So during that time period, basically Esau revolted against that the king of Judah. Excuse me, man. It's kind of cold out. Even though I take cold showers, I'm still kind of getting you know.
Okay. 2 Chronicles 2 from verse 21 says. Oh, there's no 21 in verse 2.
No, First Chronicles.
That's like it. Alright.
No, that's all right. I said it's my focus. I said 2 Chronicles. I take the blame for that. You start with verse. I think it's 9 or something.
2 Chronicles 2 and verse. 1 Chronicles 2 and 9.
No, 21.
21.
21 and 9.
Right, 2 Chronicles. 1 Chronicles 21 9, yeah? That's like. Go back, that's where it's from. So this says, and Yahweh spake unto Gad, David's seer, saying, go and tell David, saying, thus saith Yahweh, I offer thee 3 things. Choose thee one of them, that I may do it unto thee. Is this what you want?
Somebody speak. Just real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Why are you finding? Let me pull this again. Alright. The one is up before. This is Ezekiel 25 and 12. This is the reason why we're getting this precept.
21.
It says, thus saith the Lord power, because the Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance,
Yeah.
and hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them.
And avenged himself upon them. Because when you read the story, like I said, this was during the time of his son, Jehoshaphat's son. So, but the reason why this happened because Jehoram went off. He went off. So this is why this occurred. Go on, bro.
1 Chronicles 21:8, yeah?
Yeah.
That's second.
Second Chronicles 21. That's all Satan, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 Chronicles 21, verse 8.
Right. In his days, the Edomites revolted under the dominion of Judah and made themselves a king. Then Jehoram went forth with his princes and all his chariots with him, and he rose up by night and smote the Edomites which compassed him in, and the captains of the chariots.
Yeah, so they're going to have to pay for it even during that time when they revolted against the king of Judah, because he was actually the king of Judah. So let's go back to Ezekiel 25, verse 13.
All right.
So Salakia, brother, Salakia. So even in the past, even the shit that they did in the past to us, the Lord is going to have to repay them for that. All of that put together. We talk about during the time of the Babylonians, when the Babylonians took us down, in Psalms 137, he said, race it, even to the foundation of it. So all of that is going to be taken in, is actually taken into account. And because of that, now they're going to have to pay for what they've done. Just like our sins have been taken into account, now his sins have been taken into account, and he's going to have to play out. They're going to have to play out their judgment as a collective, as a nation. Go on, bro. We're just reading about it now.
So Ezekiel 25:12, thus saith the Lord power, because the Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman.
Yeah, and I will make it desolate from Teman. And the Temanites are what you call your Germans today. But the land which will be totally desolated in totality is America, which is known as Babylon the Great. That's what's spoken of in the book of Isaiah 13, Isaiah 34. These kind of precepts explains the old daughter of Babylon, what's going to happen to it.
Yep.
Go on.
And it says, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword.
And they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. Remember, what was told to Peter, I always bring this up. Peter was told by Yahawah that he that liveth by the sword will die by the sword. And guess what? Isaac, which we believe is Yahawah the Spirit, he blessed him with the sword. Right. So if that same blessing will be to his own curse. Go on.
And it says, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel.
By the hand of his people Israel. So the Lord is going to give a spiritual power to exact vengeance upon them. You can even read that in the book of Jeremiah, 51, where it says how the Lord is going to make us like a threshing instrument.
Sharp instrument having teeth.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to become likened unto. When we get that power, we're going to start which are remaining to be alive after the nuclear destruction. There's many scriptures on that. How we're going to take vengeance upon them. So this is how the Lord is going to raise up against his adversary. Just like how the Lord used other nations to rise up against us, we're going to be used to rise up against them. Go on.
And it says, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord power.
Yeah, so we're going to kick their ass. We're going to kick their ass, man. And when we do kick their ass, it's going to be an ass for the nation that experience. When the Lord is behind something, hey man, the world knows about that. When the Lord is behind it. So it's gonna be, man, I'm telling you, when we kick the ass of these nations are gonna be super feared of this, man.
Like them Christians, they like to say, my God is a big God. You're gonna see a big destruction.
Yeah.
Jeremiah 51 verse 20. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms.
Yeah, and it's going to be the house of David, because remember during the time of King David was just going through all of the nations, man. King David was just penetrating these nations without breaking a sweat, probably. And he had other other soldiers that were specialized in war too.
Yeah, mighty men.
Right, the 37 mighty men.
Yeah.
So it's going to come like that all over again, because who's the Lord building on? He's building on his house, which is known as the house of David. So the house of David, it says, they that be as weak and sick among them shall be as David, man. So you're going to have certain brothers that are going to have more power, man, than other brothers are going to have. And some of us are well, and then you got some of us that are real sick, like a brother that we know. So the Lord may heal him, and he's going to be totally strong, man.
Or he might give one brother here, the ability to heal, and he might, give the brother, one brother in this camp, with the ability to heal, could heal any other brother, all the rest of them.
Yeah, because when we get the spiritual power, I believe every brother's going to have their own attribute. That's just my personal thing. Every brother's going to have their own level of power. But we're going to be gifted with spiritual power. And this is what the elites know. They know about all of this stuff. The Hollywood producers know about this too. That's why they make the films. And also, even these cartoon guys, is what they know about that. Everybody knows about spiritual power among the elite and those that are behind the movie industries and that. They know about all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Even Jeff Bezos and these cats know about spiritual power. Like I was reading an article on how Jeff Bezos was going into a company. He's on the quest for eternal life for these levels. Among these levels, they know about the idea of immortality, spiritual power having. But see, the difference is they're not going to be able to obtain it, no matter how much they try to search for it or fund to find out if they can obtain it or not. It's going to be given unto us. That's for the saints of the Heavenly Father, which is the Israelites. They're going to be the ones obtaining that only. That's all I'm going to say. There's some more now.
Yeah.
To verse 15.
And it says, thus saith the Lord power, because the Philistines have dealt my revenge.
Yeah, that's it on that one. That's all. Yeah, so you got something else?
Not in my mind.
I've got something. I've got a quick one.
You got something?
Yeah.
Alright, hit me with that.
1 Chronicles 12 and 21 says, and they came to help David against the bands of the rovers, for they were all mighty men of valor and were captains in the host. All that time, the day by day, there came to David to help him, until it was a great host, like the host of God. And there's just one example. 25 says, of the children of Simeon, mighty men of valor, for the war, 7,100.
And that's funny because Simeon, which are the Dominicans, as well as even those Brazilians too, which they're the tribe of Hasham, that's like the warrior tribe, right? Really, when you look at it, the Northern Kingdom, they have more warrior tribes. Like you have Gad, you have Reuben, you have Simeon. Yeah, so if you watch like the UFC, they dominate that sport. Why? Because that's their spirit. Their spirit is that of to be a warrior.
There was a fight this weekend, I love my boxing, right?
Oh yeah.
This was, there's some that I just have to bring out. So much that goes on in boxing. But in the topic of boxing, there's a guy called Terence Crawford. They call him the new Floyd Mayweather, right? Terence Crawford, Judah. Yeah. And there was
Terence Crawford, he's about to take over, man.
Right.
I've checked out his record. He got what, 38?
Yeah.
He's 38 and 0.
Undefeated. Right. And he's a switch hitter. That goes back to Benjamin. Benjamin good with the stone and left, right, and all that. So called what they call them ambidextrous. But in the boxing war they called it switch hitters. And he fought
they can change stance.
Right,
You might
change
see that.
stance. Yeah, they call it switch hitters, which is very hard to read
Yeah.
because there's a lot about it. But there's another one that Sean Porter, right?
Yeah, Sean Porter, yeah.
His record is about he's lost about 2 to 3 fights, but only up against the elite. But he's never been knocked down, right? Or stopped. Terence Crawford, the switch hitter. They say they call him the second Floyd Mayweather. Even Floyd Mayweather was giving him credit.
Yeah, no, he's on the come up.
Because
Crawford, he's on the come up.
Because I don't just look at boxing, which boxing is alright, and I don't just look at one hitter quitter, and I don't just like the crash man body. I like the science of boxing, and he comes with the science, right? His IQ, but he actually stopped Sean Porter in the 10th round. He stopped him, right? Sean Porter's a big guy. He looks like a Reubenite to me. He's got that look about him, you know, and his dad, when you look at his dad looked like Judah, but looking at him and looking at his dad, he might be Reuben. He's very clever, but he's very, very physically strong. No one's put him down on the floor.
You know the thing with Crawford, right?
Yeah.
Because I was watching the fight, and really what he was doing, I didn't see the whole fight, but I saw the later fight. You see, the thing with Crawford, what he was doing was with the guy, right? He was letting him come towards him.
Yeah.
So he can hit him with a punch that he couldn't see.
Yeah.
So when when your opponent's coming towards you, and you hit him with, because he was looking for that right. Right.
Yeah.
But the way that he
was timing him.
He was timing it. So if he would have come in, he could hit him and knock him out.
Yeah. So
That's
he just jumped back once because he knew he was able to read Sean Porter's style, because he said with about 2-3 rounds he's able to read his opponent. So they say he's a slow start, but actually he's gathering data. So after when he got to the 10th round, he's able to time him. He really had the timing down. So when Sean Porter come in, he jumps in. He jumped back once, jumped back twice, bam, on the floor. Because you know what they said in the 10th round, right? This is on the subject of mighty men, right? In the 10th round they said, you know what, you might be down on the card, just to make it more sure, you know, they've been maybe just getting him to, because he's very laid back. Terence Crawford is very laid back. But he actually, when he was getting licked, clean hits, he was smiling, like to say, come on, I like this. He actually enjoys it.
He was getting the feeling of what he had, what kind of strength he had.
So in the 10th round, the trainer said to him, you know what, you might be behind on the card. And he said, really? Yeah? And they looked into this on a lot of the analysts were saying, boy, this guy's something else. They said, you might be down on the card. He said, really? All right then. He got up within about a minute, he knocked the guy down, man. And then again, he got up again, and because he's like the guy. They said, this guy's like he's an animal, man.
Yeah. And what it is with them guys, see, because the thing about what they were saying was, because I think when you watch it, I think around the 7th round, it's kind of slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's all about the training. Like, if you're gonna be a boxer, man, like you gotta go through the rounds, like practicing. You gotta train your body to go. Like, let's say you're going through a 15-round fight. You gotta train your body to go 20 rounds.
They live boxing.
Yeah, so you gotta keep doing it repetitiously. So you fight the real fight, because it's all about condition. It's easy. When Tyson started fighting, he said the easiest part was just doing the real fight rather than actually training.
That's right.
Because the training is supposed to be the hardest part.
Yes. So back to us now. All of us mighty men, okay, they're doing their thing on a low level, but what we're going to be doing on the spiritual level,
It's going to be above and beyond.
On steroids, man. So,
and even what we're doing right now is in training, because we're teaching in all seasons. We're going, we're out here when it's real hot. We're out here when it's real cold and it's windy. And you've been doing this for some years. You don't really feel it. You don't really, it doesn't affect you back to the point where I can't go out no more. Because your body's conditioned to it. You become immune to it.
This is the last week I'm coming out. Someone should say that to them with your hand, and you can see that go out.
Yeah. You're going, bro. And that's another way how you boost your immune system. What you gotta do is you gotta get in them cold showers. And just do things that your body's not comfortable with that can heal your body. That's how you boost your immune system. Go on, bro.
It is a saying that a real man should do at least one thing every day that makes him uncomfortable. Takes him out of your comfort zone. That's how you grow.
That's how you grow. Because you don't want to be comfortable all the time. When you're comfortable all the time And when uncomfortable situations occur, you won't be able to deal with it because you didn't put yourself in uncomfortable situations from the beginning.
That applies very much to women because women love comfort.
Yeah.
And like if you ever go to a woman's house, it's all like, you know, they're walking around in these fluffy ass slippers and they've got a big dressing gown and like, you know, that's a comfort. But this is what our God is. 2 Timothy 2 verse 3. Now therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahawah Bahasham.
Right. And you think them soldiers, those military men, do you really think the way that they train is comfortable? No. They train hard, man. Because the reason why the sergeant drills him is what is he really drilling? That's why they call him a drill sergeant. What he's doing, he's drilling you. He's destroying the soft you and making you hard, making you go through all of these hard tasks. Going through the mud, climbing up all the, you know, climbing up and everything, climbing up the ropes and shit, right? That's the hardening you and getting you to prepare to go to battle, the real battle. So when you go to the real battle, you're physically and mentally fit.
Right. The good thing about it, if I may, the good thing about this truth is that you actually, when you get comfortable, the Most High puts you in a position where you're not.
Yeah, you're not comfortable.
So we got the best trainer, man, as well.
Yes,
You know, because even. I'm doing the videos now, right? And I have no understanding about computers and stuff like that. The only time I realised, when I think back, I learned more about computers is when there was a problem. Like I had to solve it, I had to overcome it, and I could see that the Most I said, "All right, I'm gonna make it get a bit rough for you here, so you're gonna have to overcome this." And that's when I realised that's when I've gone. I've been through my training, which is the Most High's training. He's the best trainer. So yeah, man.
And you got, when you train, anything that you do, you gotta like when you're exercising, you gotta exercise to the point where your body's out. Like if because I lift weights, right? I like to get into the weights from time to time, right? But when I lift the weights, I lift the weights until I can't lift them no more. And once I do that, the growth comes in.
Yeah. You gotta break your muscles down.
You gotta break your muscles down. Yeah. So that's with everything in life, and that's really in this truth. When you're in this truth and you're diligent. And you know, it gets to the point where it's like, man, like, you know, I'm breaking myself down. That's when you start to grow. Go on, bro.
May I just share a brief testimony? I've done a video on it, man. I've done a video on this yesterday about the chastening of the Lord because
yeah, I saw that. That was a bad video.
oh, for what?
I gotta check it out.
Alright, so basically the story is this. When I was young, my dad used to teach me to play chess, so I knew how to play from a young age, but I was only okay at it, and I've never beat my dad in a chess game because it's really good. But I went to my family and I was talking with my uncle, and he's sitting on a chair next to me. He says, "Oh, do you know how to play chess?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You know who's really good at chess, right?" I said, "What, my dad?" He goes, "Yeah, you know, he taught me how to play." And he goes, "He taught me a move where I could checkmate someone in 4 moves." And I was like, "What?
4 moves?"
Yeah, he goes, "Yeah, your dad's really good." So he says, "Let me show you." So he got the chess set off the coffee table. I'm sitting there. He goes, "Okay, players are playing." I started playing, and lo and behold, in 4 moves, I was in checkmate. I was like, "What?" So my uncle's like, "Yeah, your dad taught me that." And I thought to myself, "Hang on a minute, my dad never ever taught me that move." Right? So I was like, but Uncle, Dad never taught me that.